Hey folks, this is Hassan Abdullah, the President and Managing Attorney of the American Visa Law Group, and I'm preparing this video to answer some very important and timely questions. And these questions include, what is humanitarian parole? How may Afghans apply for humanitarian parole in this current situation? What must I show in order to obtain humanitarian parole? What steps are necessary to apply for those who are from Afghanistan? Uh, what can I do after arriving in the United States? And we're just going to go over those questions in this video. So we also have on our website an article, and the link is going to be in the description, which goes into this in a little bit more detail. So first of all, what is humanitarian parole? Well, humanitarian parole is an outstanding form of relief to benefit those who need to come to the United States due to an urgent humanitarian reason. And there's no regulation that actually tells us what this means per se. So it's going to be something that's determined on a discretionary basis. In other words, the USCIS officer reviewing the application for humanitarian parole is going to look at the factors and make a decision to see subjectively, is this a case, objectively that is this a case that warrants admission to the United States? Some of the factors they look at will include whether the circumstances are pressing, how not getting parole will impact the applicant's well-being, and the level of suffering that may result if this humanitarian parole is not granted. Now, typically, you're going to find that humanitarian parole is granted if you are looking for you need medical attention that's not available in your home country, and you need to come to the United States to get this critical care. Maybe you're coming to the United States because you have a relative who's facing a severe illness. Or maybe you're going to come to the U.S. to attend a funeral or even participate in legal proceedings. But there's also one other way or basis for humanitarian parole, which is to come to the U.S. for protection from targeted or individualized harm. And there's a link in the linked article which goes over all these various bases to apply for humanitarian parole. But we're going to focus on what's most relevant to Afghans who would seek humanitarian parole. As I explained, we're looking at individualized harm. So, in the current precarious situation where the Taliban is now running things in the country, there's a variety of individuals who are experiencing individualized threats and danger and persecution, whether it's based on religious minority, ethnicity, if you've had former experience working with the former government or the U.S. government, and you're considered an enemy to the state for whatever reason. So if you have some individualized basis for fearing that you're going to be persecuted, then humanitarian parole may be an option for you. There are other options, such as SIV, Special Immigrant Visa, but there's very particular criteria, and many people just don't qualify for it because they don't have the 2 years of experience with the U.S. government, or maybe they don't qualify for the P2 because they don't have a referral from an agency. That's what you need. You need a referral from a U.S. citizen or who is going to be at the top of a agency headquartered in the United States, or some organization where, again, you need someone to refer you to the refugee program. So if you're not eligible under the P2 or the SIV, then humanitarian parole may be something you can consider. And so what do you have to show in order to obtain humanitarian parole? Ideally, you're going to want to show reports that you are going to experience danger, imminent harm, because of something about you in particular. You can't make it's not open for just anybody, just because, for example, we understand women are more of a target for persecution under the Taliban rule right now. But you're going to have something more specific than that, because humanitarian parole, as per USCIS's guidelines, what they've indicated on their website, you're looking at more individualized harm. So you can provide threats, proof of threats, threat letters. You can provide medical reports of past injuries. Your personal statement is also going to be useful. We can also research the country conditions to corroborate your claims of individualized danger to you. And also another thing that you're going to need is a sponsor, a financial sponsor, or if you're financially capable to support yourself when you arrive in the US, then you can also present evidence of your financial standing. But generally, you're going to need a generally, we're going to see situations where there's a US permanent resident or citizen who's going to sponsor because they include an affidavit of support. That is necessary when you apply for humanitarian parole as well. And that's also why I am not recommending that you apply for a fee waiver, because if you're seeking a fee waiver, it already speaks to the idea that you're coming to the United States and you're going to be dependent. You're going to become basically dependent on the U.S. government. And so you don't want to show that you're going to become a public charge. That's why the filing fee, I know it's a little bit expensive, $575 per applicant, but it's better to pay that and not have a risk that your humanitarian parole will be denied. My legal opinion is that. And I know many people are going to be applying for these fee waivers, and it's even stated in the USCIS website, but I don't think that's the best idea. So what are the steps you need to take? Well, first of all, the first step is you need to file this application package with USCIS. And the application package should state specifically Afghan humanitarian parole. And you should also request an expedite if there's some pressing concern where your life is in danger and you need to try to get this parole as soon as possible. And USCIS will put it in a lockbox for 2 weeks and make a decision after it's released from the lockbox within a short period of time to let you know if they will process this on an expedited basis. And once the parole is granted, again, it may take a few weeks, it may take a few months. But once it's actually granted, you would have to find a way to an embassy that will give you what is called a boarding foil based on your approved humanitarian parole application. Kabul is right now closed, at least as of the recording of this video. So that's why you're going to need to go to another country and find a way to travel there. USCIS has indicated that Doha, Qatar is where they're going to especially be assisting Afghans who are trying to flee the country and apply for various immigrant visas and, by extension, also humanitarian parole. So last thing, what can you do after you arrive in the United States? Well, the idea is, the thing is, advanced parole, humanitarian parole also is something where you're supposed to be in the US for a specified period, a limited specified period. So the way you would want to present that is to say that, you don't know the future of how things are going to be, and you need a place to stay safe, at least for the time being, to determine what the situation is going to be on the ground in Afghanistan, because it changes from day to day. And the hope is that there's stability. But if things don't stabilize and those fears, come true, that the Taliban becomes adverse to all kinds of different groups, including you, if whatever particular basis you have for your fear, you can potentially apply for political asylum as well for your dependents, but that's a separate topic. But I hope this video has been helpful to you. Our firm is handling these types of cases, humanitarian parole, and information on our rates and the basis for how you can apply in more detail you can find on our website. Again, the link is in the description. So thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful, and bye for now.